Well. Mic check 1, 2. Tell you what, this thing just starts now. All right, sounds good. Let a few more people get into the room. Shout out to everybody that's here. Got a few things to go over. Let's see here. Hopefully everybody had a good, safe Turkey Day. Let me go ahead and let's put this on. What's that thing called? Twitter. And let's go ahead and get this on the Twitter machine. Let's go here. Let me close that out. Let me see here. There we go. So we do that. We got this here. What is going on, people? What is happening? No, that is Star Wars Battlefront 2 on the PC, except I have no idea how to make it centered anymore. I mean, I'm doing everything that I can, and so I just do my hands up. It's like it is what it is. So I'm working on it, though. I got a day or two off. Waiting on my new SSD from Amazon. I ordered a 500 gig SSD, and it was supposed to be here Sunday, and according to my Alexa, it was here, it was delivered, but I had to call them Monday and read them the Riot Act, and then it's supposed to be here today. So I'm like, good, because I'm at home all day. I'm not going out. So it's too cold. I got my the McRib is back, I believe, so I'm excited about that. This is having a good day. Yeah. Mark Cerny was 100% correct about what's going on. So far, he's undefeated. Cannot deny that. But yeah, what is going on, people? A little Q&A here. We can talk about Mark Cerny if you want to. Yeah, we're going to talk about Borderlands 3, yet another multi-plat that looks better on the PlayStation. I said before on Twitter that it looks like that PS-5 is, if you're going to compare it to a NVIDIA card, which I wouldn't do, but what I was told was that the PS-5 is graphically running games closer to a 2070 Super and a 2080. It's somewhere in between there. If there was a happy spot, that's where it is, where the Xbox Series X is closer to a 2060 to 2070 graphically. I'm not banging on performance, because the performances are roughly going to be the same. There's going to be some set pieces in games that do run better on the Series X, but overall, let me make this clear, overall, the game will always run better on the PlayStation 5. So, is that Liz 187? Cerny said a rising tide will float all boats. Yeah, he did mention that. It's pretty much my understanding of it is, and I listened to that video again. I mean, I just thought it was tough. But he was talking about all the components around the GPU. Mark Cerny said he's a bigger fan of faster clocks than anything else. He says that in the first 10 minutes, or maybe he says that in that his road to PS5. So what that looks like is that, and I'm trying to reach out to some more people to know more about clock speeds than I do, because clock speeds, to me, I understand that the clock speed being faster. The only reason I understand a little bit of that is because if you take an AMD CPU and then you take an AMD GPU and you put them together, they automatically overclock. I don't have to go into my settings to overclock my CPU GPU. It's just going to overclock. So if the AMD CPU says, I don't know, the frequency is 3.5, I'm just putting that out there, but it can go 3.5 to 3.6. If it needs to go 3.6, I don't have to go in and say, well, gee whiz, on this game, I want it to go 3.6. At this point, it just does it automatically. So I'm going to reach out to and shout out to Captain Thug Nasty. I'm going to try to schedule him again because I mean the man's got a family, he's got a job, so people just can't jump on and hop on, you know. So we do have lives. But he was saying something on the round table a couple days ago. It was really intriguing on how basically the Navi GPUs that are out that you can actually go get benchmarks on, and there's different YouTube pages you can go to, there's different articles you can find. Every Navi card is minimum 2 gigahertz. I don't know if that's 2.0 or 2. Whereas that the Series X is 1.8. And so based on Navi, it's not a true Navi 2 card. So it just I just do not. So to me, that's telling me that they don't have a true Navi 2 card. But and a shout out to V'ger. And V'ger, if I can open up the Discord if you want to jump on. It was good talking to you earlier, brother. But maybe not today, but tomorrow. I don't know what your schedule is. I know you're not in the United States. I don't know where you are and what time it is. But if you want to jump on, you don't have to stay on for long. I know everybody's got lives here. But if you want to try to jump on through the Discord, maybe tomorrow, be my guest. I mean, I'm not gonna. You're more than welcome to come on and talk about clock speeds. So, because I think that's the next thing that everybody who's trying to understand why this is happening and don't want to listen to some dog crap 3-letter podcast that's going to lie to them. There's been lying to them. Okay, the fact of the matter is that there are people, I mean, right now, and there are people right now who have screenshots of stuff that Tim Dog said and Colt Eastwood said. Let's just put it out there, okay? And they were wrong talking about Digital Foundry and the comparisons. There's a reason why, unless you, I don't, and I'm not blocked. I'm not blocked by shout out to Tim Dog. I'm not blocked by him. There's a reason why he's been radio silent, about all this, and he's not saying nothing. I mean, I just flat said PS-5 is more powerful. I'm standing by that, and I'm doing it based on the way it's performing. Big. Also, my goodness, I almost forgot about this. Go check out 60 Frames No Lag. I was on there for about an hour on Monday. I had to get up and go to work the next day. But a big shout out to Porter Rock for he was able to get Optimus Code to join that panel. And so shout out to Optimus Code because he's telling the truth. And he went on multiple podcasts. I'm not going to say who they are. And he dropped the ballistics, the straight up ballistics. That's old school talk for the straight up facts. Going ballistic means going straight up like a ballistic missile. But he kicked the straight up ballistics on multiple podcasts, and they didn't want to believe him. And so I don't know why you attack somebody who actually has their foot in the business. I mean, if Steven Spielberg, if you are a young person who's wanting to get into directing and Steven Spielberg gave you some advice, I mean, wouldn't you take it? I mean, I'm just saying, wouldn't you take Steven Spielberg's advice? The same guy that brought you Jaws and E.T. and Close Encounters and I mean, are Raiders of the Lost Ark, and you're not going to listen? I mean, is this where we are now? So I mean, again, I'm the first one to always say, wait for proof of concept. Because what Mark Cerny was talking about, I didn't know was possible. He was talking about streaming in content. It's like, to me, that still makes no sense. Because if I were to go, like I said, if I had a character in the kitchen and I want that character to go out the house to the front yard, and there's a car in the driveway and a dog out there, how does it know that I'm even going to go there? All right, and without pop-in happening. But then I saw the Unreal demo, the Unreal 5 demo, that still, to this day, I mean, come on, guys, we're still blown away by that, right? You know, so once we saw that, I'm like, oh, here's proof of concept versus looking at something on paper and saying, well, here's the way it's going to perform. That's not the way it works. That's not the way the world works. There's a TV show on Disney Plus called The Right Stuff. And they didn't know if those rockets were going to work. They didn't just put people on there and say, yep, here we go. They tested it and tested it and tested it. And they got their data in and they said, okay, based on this data, here's what is going to happen. Okay? And so they did everything based on data that they were getting. Because how do you build a spaceship without being in space first? But somehow they did it. Okay? And that wasn't just, they didn't just wake up and do it. They tested. Okay? So, yeah, I still don't have the bag on the PUG channel. Shout out to you. Shout out to you, Dribble Piss. Thanks for the support. Paul G. What else we got in here? Baltimore MVPs. Shout out to you, brother. Think about becoming a member, Baltimore MVPs. You're always stopping by and showing support. I do appreciate that. Paul G, how are you doing, young man? How are you doing? Impatient Fire, what's up? What is up, Impatient Fire? So, yeah. So, Plus Ultra, how you doing? Hit that like button, people. So, but yeah, so yeah, check out 60 Frames No Lag. Great opportunity when you can bring somebody on like Optimus Code. And like he said, he just thought there was a gap of information, which he was right about that. But what he didn't understand was that not only is there a gap of information, there's also an agenda being pushed. And now everybody sees it. It's all out there. It's all exposed. And one of the best things that I've heard been said has been by Porter Rock 77, who flat said, nobody can say anything at this point because we now have the consoles in our hands, whether you bought a PlayStation or you bought an Xbox or you bought both, okay? And if that's what you did, then you can now clearly see that there is a trend. I mean, if something happens one time, all right, fine. Something happens two times, you may raise an eyebrow. Something that's happening constantly, that's called a trend, at least here in the United States. I know there's people, shout out to everybody around the world. I am being a horrible host, by the way. There are people around the world watching the podcast. Hit that like button, people. I love the fact that there's people from Australia, the outback of Australia, to Sweden and Switzerland, to Germany, to England, to the United States, to Mexico, to the Bahamas, Japan. Oh, shout out to Dribble Piss for the for the $1.99 holla, the pound. I appreciate you, brother. Appreciate that. Yeah, this is not about tools at this point, and I'm not here to say that it is ignorant. It's ignorant to say that the PlayStation 5 dev kit won't get any better and will just be stagnant, where the Xbox is going to make leap and bounds. It's going to happen. That's not true. Okay, I don't know. I don't even argue about that stuff anymore. You know, they're both going to get a little bit better and do a little bit more. But we'll have to wait and see. And I'm not a wait and see type guy. It is what it is. I mean, wait and see is good if you're going to wait for another year or two to buy something. Which I understand that. I get that. But when there are people buying stuff now, they can clearly see, like Borderlands 3 graphically looks better on the PlayStation. Once again, the PlayStation is in high settings and ultra settings, and the Xbox Series X is in medium settings to high settings. Okay? Look. I understand that. Now, it's hard for you all to understand that unless you game on PC. So, something that's in high to ultra settings looks profoundly better than something in medium settings. It's not that medium settings is bad, but high is better. Ultra high better than high. Okay? So, and there's some they're just all these settings coming out now from mid-high to ultra to high ultra. Just depending on what you do. See, I reason why I want to get Captain Thug Nasty on is because he was talking about something about how he thinks that which, I mean, again, I'm not saying he's wrong, but the way I understood him on the roundtable was that he thinks that the Xbox Series X is closer to a Vega card, a Vega 56 that's got Navi architecture put in it. That's the way I understood it, but I could be wrong. I mean, you know, that's what I'm saying. I want to try to effort him to get him back on the podcast. So, yeah, Corey Massey. Shout out to Corey Massey. He's here in the chat. He actually went over to Jack Reacher's channel in the chat and was trying to kick the straight up ballistics. So did Savage Yuger. They don't want to listen. They don't want to listen. They had an agenda. And now they look stupid when all they had to do was say, hey, you know what? On paper, this looks great, but can we wait for some real world comparisons? You know, I mean, it's just like when Lisa Sue or that Jensen guy from NVIDIA come out and just start pulling stuff out of their butts. Like, it's going to have this much. It's going to be doing that much. It's going to see this much improvement. Everybody claps and says, oh, wow. But then everybody says the same thing. Like, hey, look, you know, we got to wait for some real world comparisons, guys. So I just what's up, Gaming Despair? So yeah, I don't get it. So it says I only build a new PC every 5 to 6 years. Yeah, that's roughly right now. I have a Navi RDNA 1 card. I guess what it would be. I guess it would be a Navi card. I have an RDNA 1 card right now. So the RDNA 2 cards just came out. So technically, I won't have to get a new GPU until 2022, maybe, you know, unless something falls in my lap, which that could happen, you know. Yeah, PS-5 stole all the Series X tools. Yeah, I'm seeing things like, and Porter Rock made a very good point when he brought up that tweet from, I won't even say who at this point, when he said that guy was like, it's confirmed that Assassin's Creed Valhalla, confirmed meaning that we have multiple sources reporting this, that Assassin's Creed Valhalla is going to run better and look better or whatever he said on the Series X. Well, we all know that's not true, right? We understand that's not true. Even though I know there were a bunch of people in the PlayStation community that were butthurt over that update, and the only thing that changed was whatever the opening sequence is, and don't spoil it for people if you played it, because a lot of us remember we don't have the bag. Okay, so if we don't have the bag, don't spoil it for us. That's all I'm saying. You know? But there's more screen tearing in the beginning of the PlayStation. That is different. That has changed. But overall, it's still performing better, and that's from Digital Foundry, who now is under attack by certain people in the Xbox community. And so those guys have locked, I don't know if they've blocked their accounts, they've locked their accounts because they're getting attacked by the Xbox guys because they're mad at what's happening right now. They're literally mad, which I don't understand it. Okay, I just don't understand it anymore. You know, I don't know why they're upset. Paul G, what's happening? So, no, V'ger, if you all follow V'ger on Twitter, he broke down why they're bottlenecking. So it's not about secret sauce as much as it's about, it seems like it's about the speed. There's something, the Xbox is processing things slower. And so it's causing bottlenecks. That's my understanding from what V'ger was saying. So, and that Sony's 36 CUs can actually process more than Microsoft's 52 CUs because they're bigger. You know, so that's a way above me. That's what I'm saying. That's got to really be broken down into some basic stuff. It makes some sense when you look at it. When I'm looking at it a certain way, I'm like, well, it does make sense, but you know, like, So, you were told yesterday that PS5 had reached its full potential. Again, that's just not true. Yeah, you laugh at stuff like that because remember, let's just be honest here. PS4, Uncharted 4 looks great. But Uncharted 4 Lost Legacy is a better looking game. It looks better, okay? That's because that game was developed later using newer tools that Naughty Dog was able to deploy. That's the God's honest truth. Now, there are advantages because the Nathan Drake collection is 60 frames per second already. Now, I don't know if that's going to change on the PS5. I mean, I've not heard anybody say I'm playing the Nathan Drake collection and it looks better, or I'm playing the Nathan Drake collection and it does this, that, whatever. I don't know. I mean, again, I don't have the bag, so we'll have to wait and see. Teresi is great. Says, do you remember the AppySack PS5 APU leak that had the Fire Stripe benchmark test that put the PS5 at 20,000, which beats the 1080 and the 27 Super? Well, I do remember that, but it's a leak, and I guess right now you can say we have proof of concept. But the Vega 64, that's not a great card. I almost bought that card. I remember I had a little bit of money. I had one hand in my pocket, and I was going to get a Vega 64 card. I was going up to Best Buy. And then I'm like, well, let me do my research on it. And I'm like, well, this doesn't seem like a very good gaming card. So, but it was Vega. So, AMD, that was disappointing. But, and it beat the RTX 2070 and the Super. Well, yeah, I mean, maybe that was correct. That could have been correct. I guess that was correct. Because it is, I can't say it's beating it. It's just, it's performing close to it, if not better. But that's what I got told. The guy, my source said, try not to compare AMD's Foundry to NVIDIA's. It's not fair. But the PlayStation is going to perform closer to the 2070 Super, and a little better than that, but not as good, but right underneath the 2080 or something like that. And I said, okay, well, I thought the Series X, he was going to turn around and say, the Series X is going to perform like a 2080 or a 2080 Ti. But he didn't say that. He said it's going to be closer in performance to a 2060 to 2070, somewhere in between there. And that's exactly what you're saying. Okay? And that doesn't mean it won't get better. And I'm not here to say it won't get better. But as of right now, if you want to put the Series X in the NVIDIA line, that's where it's at. Okay? It doesn't mean it's bad. Okay? Oh, yeah. Well, Captain Thug Nasty wants to know if I'm naked. That's just nasty. So that's all I can say. But that's the way he is, right? Shout out to Captain Thug Nasty. Got to get him back on and pick his brain again. So because I really enjoy talking to him one-on-one. So Hans Peter says Sony ponies got cleavage and side boob, while Xbox didn't even get no side. Yeah, that's bad. Well, I guess right now the Xbox Series X is a side boob. I mean, it's the side boob, and the PlayStation is the boob, is the whole boob. So, you're done with Creed, okay? Well, it's on sale right now. I believe you can get Assassin's Creed Valhalla for like $29, but it is what it is. So Avitra says that, yeah, well, Vulcan now has, let me see if I can put this up on the screen. I have to be able to maneuver around here, because this is out of WCC Tech, and let me see if I can find it. I don't know if people saw this or not. So, I mean, remember they were saying that DirectX or Direct something was the only thing that was going to have ray tracing and all that kind of stuff. Well, here we go. And Sony, I believe, uses Vulkan. Okay, so I believe that's what Sony uses. Somebody can correct me. I mean, it's fine. If I'm wrong, you go ahead and correct me. You can correct me now. You can correct me in the comment section. Whatever you think is better is fine. But this I believe the PlayStation does use a form of Vulkan or uses Vulkan, something like that. But obviously, these people were saying that Vulkan wouldn't support it. Well, here it is. Okay, I don't know what else to say. Now, I got this update yesterday when I came home from work when my SSD was missing from Amazon. You know, so but that's why I'm up, because they're supposed to be delivering it, and I'm gonna be up and I'm gonna sign for it. And if it doesn't come in today, after talking to not one but two Amazon customer service agents, then I'm whooping somebody's ass. Okay, that's all I can say. It ain't nothing. It don't take much for me to whoop a man's ass. Okay, I'll hit somebody so hard their kids' teeth will fall out. So I mean, it is what it is. But back the Vulkan ray tracing support, it's here. Okay, so if you have the AMD software, blah blah blah, you want to update your cards. Update your card. This is from yesterday, guys, from Francisco de Mayo or de Mayo. I believe that's Spanish, but I could be wrong. So, but just for you guys to know that, I mean, the more lies these guys tell, you know, you know, there's more lies these guys keep telling. So, since Assassin's Creed is a grind of side quests, you can't do it anymore after Odyssey. I heard it had a lot of side quests on it. So, but that's what I like. That's what I like. But I like Assassin's Creed. I do like the reboot. I didn't like the fighting as much in Origins. I love the fighting in Odyssey. I actually sought out conflict in Odyssey. Origins, I was trying to like be more stealth because I didn't care the way the fighting system was. So it is what it is. So AMD coming in hot. Now you're talking. Yeah, but I like the grind. So, Patient Fire says the unified L3 cache and PS5 is doing wonders. PS5 closer to a Zen 3 than it is a Zen 2. It's using Zen 3 features. If this patent from Sony is a blue, what patent are you talking about? So, just asking. Drop a link. So, somebody says an L for Xbox. Yeah, I mean, look, and I don't recall Xbox ever saying that they were going to have the better versions of any games. Phil Spencer, if you remember last year at the Gaming Awards, Phil Spencer walked out there on the stage and he said that we have built the world's most powerful Xbox. I mean, he said that, and you all can look that up yourselves. So, I mean, you guys can look that up yourself, okay? And Phil Spencer has gone out of his way to always say it's the world's most powerful Xbox. So, at least from what I can understand. Now, I know when you go to the store, it says the world's most powerful console, but it's only that on paper. So, again, because it's like that on paper, they can say that. Versus, in reality, it's not performing like that. The truth is in reality, it's not performing like that. The PS5 is outperforming it. So this is just for me, the PS5 is more powerful. Salute to you, CRU. I see you, brother. I appreciate the support, by the way. Oh, what's up there, Wendingo? How you doing? I didn't see you down there. You snuck in. So, you snuck in. What's happening? So, and T Easy 83 from We All Made PlayStation Nation was happening. So, Baltimore MVP says PlayStation uses walking. Well, I mean, again, I don't see a ton of people, at least in my Twitter feed. I don't know where you all's feed is. My Twitter feed is not full of a lot of people from the Xbox community anymore openly saying the crazy stuff. If you go to their actual podcast and you look at their comment sections, that's where most of that stuff is at this point. That's where most of it is now. It is now. It's kind of in its own bubble. So it's like a virus that's been pushed back into its own shell. And as long as you don't go over there to the podcast raising hell, they're not going to come on Twitter, I don't think, saying anything anymore. I mean, there'll be a couple that want to pop their heads up and they'll get smashed. You know, they'll get squared. So, 3060 Ti just went live on Best Buy, BestBuy.com. See, I don't know enough about the 3060 specs. That's the one that's $400 though, right? So that's like their 1440p card. So I may get that. I may buy that. I don't know. I may get a honker. I gotta pay for my new monitor though, guys. My monitor is 90 days, same as cash. So I gotta pay this off in January. I got till like January 20th to pay off my monitor. So let's see here. They retreated to the shadows. Well, I mean, again, they went back to their own podcast. They're not out in the wild, so to speak. They got beat down. So and that'll just keep happening. I don't know why in the world people thought any differently without any real world specs. That's what I've never understood, is the people not waiting on real world specs. So that's what I was saying the other night on 60 frames no lag. So but KIOPO1, what's going on, brother? What is going on? Long time no see. Certainly hope you and your family are doing okay. Says here, he says, based on what I see from both next generation consoles, the performance difference is very minute. I agree. Maturing, developing tools for S Series X should have the edge. It really depends on the developers. Well, I mean, again, that takes into account that the Xbox will that the Sony PlayStation will just be inert. That's not true. The Sony PlayStation's dev kits will get better too. So I mean, again, so where is their edge? If you're going to say the overall use of Navi, but they're underclocked. So again, I'm not saying that you're wrong. I'm just saying that there's some other factors there. Just try to remember that. So, so yeah. So what else do we have here? Oh, the Uncharted movie. So apparently, if you're going to watch the Gaming Awards on Thursday, next Thursday, I believe the 10th, next Thursday, which I will not be watching. December 10th, Tom Holland is supposed to be at the award show, and I'm assuming that this is going to be about the Uncharted movie. Okay, it's assumed that Tom Holland being at the Game Award show, that Sony is going to tease the Uncharted movie, like a tease trailer or something like that. Have to wait and see, because I still haven't heard if Mark Wahlberg is going to be at the Gamer Awards yet. So that's what we're waiting on.
Yeah.
Oh, somebody has activated the Black Booty Buster at 10:30 a.m. in the morning. Somebody was so bold, and it was T-Easy83 from We All Made PlayStation Nation who said, no, he said the world's most powerful console ever built. Mark Cerny was in the front row. Go back and look at that video. That's why everyone ran with the most powerful. All right, I'll go back and look at it again. I thought he said the most powerful Xbox, but that's fine. I mean, I'll go back and look at it. So maybe Microsoft. Paul G says maybe Microsoft will show new too. They're talking about Microsoft is going to show a couple of games, and we'll get to the games because this is a gaming podcast. I'm just doing some information. But shout out to you, T-Easy83. He was the high dollar donator with $10. So let's see if anybody can champion him and come with it again. But shout out to you, T-Easy83. Well, I'll look at it again. It's no problem. And I'll put a tweet out on the community timeline if I'm wrong. Because you all know me. I'll admit that I'm wrong. I'm not like that dog crap 3-letter podcast that you all listen to. So, yeah, the Xbox communitized pretty much in quarantine. Shout out to the Ash and Luca. She did an upload video yesterday, about a 5-minute video, give or take. And I agree with her 100%. If you like the games in the Xbox ecosystem, then get an Xbox Series X. I don't know what else to say at this point. Now, if I had a Series S, I would play those games on a monitor. That's just, go out, get you a Series. A friend of mine did this. He bought a Series S. He went to Best Buy. He bought a 1080p curved monitor with HDR. And it had like a 120 refresh on it, or something like that. So he's fine. He is fine. As a matter of fact, shout out to Microsoft, because this month, and this was announced yesterday, the game Control and Doom Eternal went to Game Pass. I don't know if you all know that or not, but if you have Game Pass, you can play Control right now, okay, on Game Pass. If you haven't played Doom Eternal, you can play it now on Game Pass. So again, Control and Doom are both old games. All right, they're both what? When did Control come out? Did Control come out? Control came out last year, right? Or was it 2 years ago? I can't remember. Anyway, my point is that you can go ahead and get those games on So we're going to get a web-slinging Nathan Drake. No, I just think, again, Tom Holland is Sony's most bankable star. So you put him in a new franchise to try to build a franchise. It's all these movie studios are looking for the next big franchise. Sony possibly hit a gold mine with that Venom movie, because Morbius comes out in a few more months. So if you all don't know that, Impatient Fire says the 3060 Ti is more powerful than the 2080 Super. It's a great car. You're getting the 3070 or 3080 next year, depending on your finances. All right. Well, I mean, again, damn, I didn't know, man. I should have waited and got that 3060 then, if it's more powerful than the 2080. But I didn't know that. So wasn't Control supposed to go in October? Oh, I don't know. I don't know. See, I still think that's when they made the deal in October, but I don't know. You know, I don't. Game Pass isn't bad if you just want to play games at 1080p with HDR with some benefits, okay? And the Series S is fine for that. You know, I keep trying to tell people, hey, they keep saying you could get the Series S and a good monitor for under $500, guys. Okay, that's reality at this point. And that's actually a good buy. And then if you get a little extra coin next year, you get an Xbox Series X at that point. And I'm just talking about the people who want to be in that ecosystem. If you don't want to play Xbox games, it does not matter to you, right? Right. I mean, it's like looking at a woman. It's like a woman who you don't want to date. I mean, who cares who she goes out with, right? You didn't want to go out with her, so don't worry about it. You feel it's kind of crazy to watch Tom Holland as a young Nathan Drake. Well, yeah, I understand that too. I understand that. That actually makes sense. I mean, again, it may not be, the movie may be trash. I don't know. So they're taking a big risk. I would have called it something else and then said it was based on the Uncharted game, because we all know video game movies are trash. I mean, they are trash. Street Fighter was so bad, it made my side hurt. Street Fighter was so bad, it made my side hurt. My side was hurting. Still hurts. So, it is what it is. CRU Royalty is saying that he's getting EA Play so you can play Fallen Order. Oh, Fallen Order is available today on EA Play. Didn't know that. That's a good game if you are a Star Wars fan. That is a good game. I thoroughly enjoyed that game on PlayStation. Won't give it away, but I thoroughly enjoyed that game. So, what's up, Soul Provider Speaks? How you doing, brother? Hit that like button for me, Soul Provider. Go ahead and be daring. Go ahead and hit that like button. So, Hans Peter said he'll never watch another video game movie. I don't blame you. Look, they were bad, man. It was bad. Let's just be honest, man. It was bad. They're bad. So, you like that Street Fighter movie with Van Damme? Really? Oh, well, Erica, something. There you go. Each to his own, I guess. Each to his own. So, But again, I mean, again, maybe the movie comes out and makes a lot of money. But again, they're trying to put movies out next year that are going to have a bunch of bankable stars because nobody wants to go back to the movie theater anymore. So it's just and my favorite movie of the year, Tenet, comes out on video. I think next week. I think it comes out next week. So I'm excited about that. So I am excited. So I'll be buying that in 4K. You know, that'll be another 4K movie I can add to the list. One of my favorite movies ever, Tenet. That was great. So Sam Man said he's not going back to the theater. I am. I'm going to go back and see Black Widow. I'm going to go see Wonder Woman. So, yeah, I'm good. So, let's see here. Mortal Kombat was good. Well, okay, fair enough. For its time, Mortal Kombat. I'll give you Mortal Kombat. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. So, like I said, I'll give you Mortal Kombat. I'll go ahead and tip my hat to the first Mortal Kombat. The second Mortal Kombat was complete trash. It was a travesty. So, so hit that like button, people. So, what else we got going on? Yeah, like I said, Borderlands 3. Now, I'm not a Borderlands guy. Never have been. But Borderlands 3 looks better on the PlayStation. Somebody, you know, again, got better graphics. It is what it is. So, PS-5 sales worldwide is the #1 selling console. It has knocked the Nintendo Switch back to #2. And I saw somebody put something up that the Series X and Series S had outsold the PS4 by like 6,000 units. It's like, well, I hope so. That's a brand new console. It should outsell old consoles. I mean, it should. Let's keep it 100% here. So, I never saw the Street Fighter 2 animated movie. So I never saw it. So some Resident Evil movies. No, none of those Resident Evil movies have been very good. But they can make those Resident Evil movies for about $21 million. And then they'll come out and they'll make about $58 million, give or take. They'll make a profit, so they keep making the movies. So, but I saw the first 2 Resident Evil movies and they were terrible. I'm like, oh, you know, like I said, it made my back hurt. So, did I see the Forbes article saying that the Series X was a failure? No, I did not. I did not. That's just an opinion article, though. So, I mean, again, I don't know. I don't have one, so I don't know if it's a failure or not. But yeah, I don't think it's a failure. I think they had a bad launch simply because they don't have any games out for it. I don't understand that. So, I mean, just me personally, I don't understand that. You know, they would have to literally sit me down in a room and put down on a chalkboard why this is a good idea. You know, just it is what it is. So, you know, so because I would have delayed the console. You know, I'd have been like, look, we're just going to delay it till we, at the bare minimum, has something that you all can play on it instead of multiplats that, or not even multiplats. It's like, they're saying that, well, let me make this clear. Like, I like Jedi Fallen Order. I like that game. Apparently, it runs on the PS5 and on the Series X. It runs at 60 frames per second. Is that true, yes or no? That's a question for you guys. Is that true? Because playing that game at 60 frames a second, I may go back and play it again because I did enjoy that game. Now, I don't know if you get any bonuses with it, though. So, Taurus is great, says, should watch. So, no, I'm not going to watch that. I mean, again, there's nothing to damage control at this point. You guys have got the bag. Some of you have an Xbox. Some of you all have PlayStations. Some of you have both. And some of you, like me, have neither. Okay? But you can actually see what the games look and run like now. And you don't need Dealer Gaming or hell myself or Matt's Gaming or whoever to tell you to damage control when you got the information right in front of you. Okay, you do. The Xbox Series X is bottlenecking, and therefore the PlayStation 5. Again, I'm not here to say it doesn't have some bottlenecks, but they've eliminated a lot of the bottlenecks on the PS5. That's the reality. There's nothing to damage control. Okay, there's nothing left to damage control. So, okay, and you all just go buy them. All right, just go buy a Series X or an X, and I wouldn't buy a Series X until they put games out for it. Even Austin Evans said that. Austin Evans is like, yeah, you can wait, and it might be cheaper. What if this time next year, Christmas time, you can go buy a Series X for about $399? Okay, you might be able to do that. I'm not here to say. You all have got to consider that from now on. I'm not here to say what to go buy. I'm just simply saying that if I'm going to buy a Series X, it won't be till it's come down to $399. That's it. I mean, and that's that won't be till next year, and that will hopefully be when more of their games are out, from the Halo to whatever they put out. I mean, the Initiatives game, Fable, maybe we have a release date by then. It's not like they're not going to have games on there, but and I've always had an Xbox console, but do I have a choice between getting like a 3070 and a Xbox? I'm going to choose the 3070 because I'm building another computer. So, and it will be a 4K computer. So, so it will concentrate on 4K. So, but Forbes, they do a lot of opinion articles. Don't get their opinion commentary mixed up with their factual stuff that they do. Don't do that. If somebody said it's a failure, that's their opinion. That's not a fact. Microsoft is the only ones that can determine whether it's a failure. So it is what it is. If they discontinue it and they put out another console, then it's a failure. Like they did with the first Xbox. The first Xbox was a failure. Xbox One, the Jolly Green Giant, whatever you want to call it, that was a failure. That failed. They ceased production and they produced 2 more consoles. That's what they did. The Xbox One S became the default base Xbox, and it had 4K Blu-ray in it. So, and then they took that out of this one. I don't understand that, but that's just me. That's me. So I just don't get what they're doing. But what the Xbox One X, I don't know if the Xbox One X was a failure, because they said it was built to run multi-plat games better. That's what they said. So and it did. And it ran a lot of first-party games at 4K. And so I wouldn't consider that a failure. It may not have sold what they thought, but they got it. It did what they said it was going to do. So, but I don't look at it like that. So, Xbox is putting out another Series X. Yeah, I think they are. Until Phil Spencer sends those design teams home. Until he sends the design team home, then they're going to probably build another console. So, I think Sony will build some type of PlayStation 5 Pro, but I don't, because they didn't send the design team home. They didn't disband the design team for consoles. They still are working. Now, both Microsoft and Xbox are still, or Microsoft with Xbox is still working with AMD to improve the Series S and X. So they're not going to just stop and say, we're going to make another console, So it's not going to be like that. So, but give them about 3 to 4 years, and you may, probably by 2024, you're going to start hearing about the other console. You'll start hearing about it. So, but we'll have to wait and see. The first Xbox was the best. I think the Xbox 360 is still one of the best consoles ever made. That's just my opinion. So Mark Cerny's the gaming world's most valuable asset. Yeah, it does help to have a lead. Does help to have the lead designer as he's a computer gamer. He builds games. Yeah, that's an advantage definitely. So Xbox One X was the worst selling Xbox SKU. Yeah, it's also a mid-gen replacement. But you're right, that doesn't change what it is. So it was discontinued in 2 years. Well, again, that got discontinued because of the new consoles. It didn't get discontinued because it was a failure. So the Jolly Green Giant got discontinued because it was a failure and it didn't sell well. It failed. Okay, so the 360 had a 50%. Oh, but they fixed it. I mean, you're right. Yeah, that was trash. And but the point is that they I had two. I think I had 2 or 3 Xbox 360s, but I much rather would have had that than a PS3 because of the games. The Xbox 360 again was weaker than the PS3, but it played the games better. And it's just like what you're seeing right now, right? You're just seeing the opposite. The PlayStation 5, I'm sorry, is running games better than the Xbox Series X, and the Xbox Series X is more powerful. It's the opposite of the 360 and PS3. And people act like this is the first time this has ever happened. No. This happened last generation. It did. It happened generation before last now, because we're in a new gen. So, what's up, the REC? So, yeah. But yeah, that's all you're seeing. It's already happened. It's happening opposite. It's like Bizarre World. So, so yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Don't get caught up in what they're doing. So, all right. I got to ask this, before we get on up out of here, what was some of the damage control from last night? All right, I got to ask. I'm asking whoever listened to that 3-letter podcast, what was some of the damage control that they were doing? Let's hear the top 2 or 3 before we get out of here. So, you still trying to get the bag? Yeah, I'm still trying to get the bag too. Don't feel bad. Do not feel bad. And I'm still trying to get my SSD from Amazon that they stole. Because they were supposed to be here on Sunday. Let's see here. Joe Piss got 5. You got 5 rings of death? Oh, okay, so that's bad. Yeah. See, what happened was, they redesigned the Xbox 360. So after my 2nd ring of death, I went and got that. I don't know if you all remember that. I think it was an E3. What was it E3 or what was the gaming show where Donnie D had Kojima walk out on stage? And he was talking about Metal Gear Rising or something like that, which was a trash game. But that E3, Donnie D announced on Tuesday or maybe he announced on Monday that there was a brand new Xbox, and he said, when can you buy it? He said, well, it's on its way to your stores right now. I was actually off on that Thursday, and I went to Best Buy, and I bought it. And it was very quiet. That's what I remember the most about that Xbox. So, without Microsoft money, Xbox would have gone under a long time ago. That's true, and Satya Nadella almost put it under about 4 years ago. He actually met with Phil Spencer. This is all, you can find this out now. They were about to shut down the Xbox division, and they tried to sell it to Amazon. So they were either going to sell it to Amazon or sell it to they tried to sell it to Steam, and they tried to sell it to Amazon. So it is what it is. So yeah, 2013. These guys are still fighting a 2013 fight. I don't get it at this point. So. But this is what I'm saying. I don't listen to those podcasts anymore. Look, shout out to those podcasts. They are what they are. It is what it is. So, but I don't really listen to them. So, No, I don't think in 2024 you'll hear about a PS5 Pro. Maybe, maybe. So, so D-Batch said, "Oh well." As soon as you said D-Batch said it, that's already wrong. Let's just. D-Batch also said there was going to be a 1080p 60 FPS model for Assassin's Creed Origins. D-Batch also said that Assassin's Creed Valhalla was running leaps and bounds above the PS5. You know that's not true, so don't have to worry about it anymore. Those guys are doing exactly what they're Xbox shields, and they're not telling you guys the truth. And I get it now because it's easy to just it's easy to just sit back and listen to their podcasts and be like, well, how come they're saying this? Why won't they just admit they're wrong? They're not going to do that. So it is what it is. So Valhalla patch on PS5 wasn't downgraded to Xbox. Well, that is true. The Valhalla patch did not downgrade it. The people that were saying that were actually wrong. That is actually true. The Valhalla patch did add more. To me, it looks more stable on both the Series X and on the PS5. But the PS5 is still outperforming, and that is according to Digital Foundry. So it's like even with that patch, the Xbox is patched, the Series X is patched, and the PS5 is still outperforming it. So it is what it is. Up, Lincoln Clay. How you doing? So what is happening, Lincoln Clay? So, but guys, it's been about an hour, man. I've been here. It's time for me to get on off here and check to see where my SSD is, and hopefully I can do an SSD unboxing here later today. That's the plan. Is to do an SSD unboxing from Amazon. So, because a brother's wondering where his SSD is at this point. So, but oh, at 9 a.m. Okay. Well, Don, definitely. I'll be praying for you. I'm off on the 9th, but I'll be definitely praying for you. Good to hear from you. Good to hear from you. So, yeah, Terrace is great. I mean, listening to, Jack Reacher was talking about Skyrim at 60 frames per second. I mean, look, I like Skyrim. It's one of my favorite games. But, I mean, and I guess you look at it and he's talking about games. I mean, here's what they're not talking about is hardware anymore. That's all I can really say at this point. I guess if worst case scenario, Skyrim, talking about Skyrim at 60 frames per second is a game, and they're not talking about, oh, look at the hardware, oh, look at the ray tracing, oh, look at the variable rate shade. I mean, it is what it is. They're not doing that anymore. So now it's about, once everything gets up and going, and it ain't gonna never get up and going enough. That's just who they are at this point. It's who they are. So. But guys, I'm going to get on off here. I'm going to go ahead and play some Madden on my PlayStation and wait on my SSD delivery and see if I can get that. Let me check to see where it is here. See if it has a memory on it. Track via FedEx. Doesn't say where it is. What if I sign in? I can't remember if I have an account or not. Actually, I do have an account. Let's see if I can find out where it is. Go to FedEx homepage. Well, I don't recall. Yeah, this did this. Hold on. Maybe it sent something to my Gmail. Let's see. Shooby-dooby-doo. But yeah, guys, I mean, I can't imagine. I mean, now it's so, they're just going to say it's the tools at this point. Yeah, see, nothing is in my email, so says I got an award from Lowe's. Hey, oh no, I'm not going to click on that survey. Guys, if you are getting emails about click on surveys and stuff, don't do it. Don't do it. I did that on accident, and oh my goodness, I get inundated with email now about surveys. So yeah. True Virgil says after sending his tech to simple Optimus code, the priest a word of the. Oh no, yeah. There you go. So, yeah, I mean, again, I like Skyrim. I'm a Skyrim guy. FedEx stole your Series X, really? Well, I mean, right now, let's see here. I'm waiting on my SSD. So, you got a text about service. Yeah, I don't know how that happens. Yeah, maybe if I sign in, maybe it'll let me. But I don't recall ever. I don't recall ever signing up for it. But it is what it is, guys. It's 11 o'clock. I got all day. I'll be here all day. So, but I can do this all day, like Captain America said to Iron Man. So, let me try one more time. Oh, well, no, I can't change it. If you got your use ID in your email, so then click continue. I did that. Oh, okay, yeah. Thank you. Use ID so it's email. Okay, so I still haven't received an email yet. So, all right then. All right, guys, I'm gonna jump on off here. Like I said, I wish I had some outro music. I'm still trying to figure that out. I think I have to download like the VLL source or something like that. So, but yeah, I'm just kick back and play my flight sim game and have a good time and stuff like that. So, yeah, there is no more console war. Console war is over, guys. Rambo can come home. Come home, Rambo. Come home. So, but I do appreciate you all coming by early this morning. I'll be doing another podcast tonight, hopefully, unboxing my new SSD that I'm going to throw in the computer here as soon as I figure out how to put one in. So, but yeah, I'm getting a 500 gigabyte SSD. So, because my 250 one is already filled up, and I still got a lot more modules to buy on on my DCS. So, but again, I still have to learn how to use that F-16 because it's getting on my nerves. I'm struggling with that radar on that F-16 trying to shoot stuff down. They keep saying how easy it is. I'm like, no, it's not. I'm having trouble. So, Skyrim is Bethesda's best with the bugs or best. See, I like Fallout 3 more than I like Skyrim, but nothing wrong with either one. But guys, I am going to jump off here. I do appreciate you coming by, and maybe I'll podcast later on. Never know. Stay tuned.